Job chapter 15 verse 35. They conceive mischief, they bring forth vanity, the belly prepareth deceit. Psalms chapter 94 verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Habashai, Wahara Kabadash. The honors of the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. They're scattered abroad amongst the heathens. I'm looking like the heathen. Beginning with the 144,000. Preachers teach the prophet Shalom. Psalms 94 and 20 in the NLT. Can unjust leaders claim that God, Yahweh, is on their side? Leaders whose decrees, laws permit injustice. Right? So what they're doing, as we told you yesterday, by way of the Holy Spirit, with this situation here, right, with the shooter in New York, is that, hey, they want to bring forth surveillance and more troops to patrol, all right? So you best believe more executive orders and things going to be put in place for these things to happen. See, everything is about this New World Order beast system, man, this track and trace system, man, all right? And what they're going to do, it's called being draconian. Hey, you speak as a dragon. But also for them to speak as a dragon, they need these type of events to take place and to play out. You get Revelation chapter 13 and verse 11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. And the word dragon goes into draconian. Okay, the Greek word is drakon. All right, draconian measures or laws will be laws that, when broken, bring forth the harshest offense. All right, in other words, the smallest infraction will bring forth the most harsh and brutal offense. All right, and in this case, hey, they want to track, trace, surveil everybody by way of the MOTB. All right, that's what it's going to lead to. But hey, that's why people are going to beg for this type of technology and surveillance, because they're going to push it as what? It's for your safety. That was the whole point of the real ID. All right, but they was telling you it was to help them, but no, as we told you about what the Holy Spirit, no, that's a stepping stone for the MOTB, because that real ID is trash. And now they're going around snatching up immigrants who got the real ID on their license. Now these stupid ass ICE agents talking about some, oh, how do we know it's real? You see that? So you ain't gonna be able to fake the MOTB. All right? But I want to play this real quick. It says, this Fox News, live mass shooting in New York City. When will leaders get tough on crime? You see that? That's the title of the video. But I'm going to play this part right here. Right here. Check this out.
Wounded animal. They're just lashing out at random stuff right now, but I'm not sure their claws are hitting anything. Meanwhile, it was all the news coverage yesterday. So a 27-year-old man played high school football, leaving a note that suggested he might be suffering from CTE. Certainly had mental health conditions. From what I understand, the reporting is now that he had 2 mental health holds. A mental health hold is when you're taken to a hospital and held for 72 hours in his life. Walked into a building in downtown or midtown Manhattan and seemingly targeted the offices of the NFL. It was home to Blackstone, KPMG, this high-rise, and the NFL. He ended up in the property management offices of the 33rd floor. He killed 4 people between the lobby of the building and those offices. And this is a little bit of how it was covered yesterday on CNN.
Among them that they did get, they do know what he looks like. Sunglasses, mustache, male, possibly white.
Interesting. Pictures were out almost immediately. He didn't look white. He's not white. But that's CNN's reflex reaction. And then there's the Cincinnati.
By the way, CTE, man, is a deterioration of the brain. Okay, it comes from trauma, stress, contact, Okay, like sports and things of that nature. So, hey, you can tell if you got it while you're alive. Hey, don't be stupid and say, oh, you can only know if you got it if you did, because that's when they analyze the brain. Out of all of these athletes and players who played sports, primarily football, their behavior while they were living right before they died, that was the symptoms, that was the signs of them having CTE. And that's a long word. Look it up for the exact pronunciation of the word. Now, these players, right before they passed away, they showed a pattern of behavior. All right. And most of them took themselves out afterwards. And then when the doctors analyzed their brain, that's when I was like, oh, they had it. Well, you know, if you got it today, based upon your pattern, your behavior, based upon the players that had it and their behavior before they passed. All right. So that's how you will pretty much know, man. All right. Hey, you watch that movie Concussion with Will Smith. Hey, do your own research. I listened to this doctor, man. It was a while ago, like last year, if I'm not mistaken. I cannot remember his name, but hey, he was a brain specialist. All right, and was going into how a concussion is not when you're disoriented. It's like no, a concussion is any type of impact to the head, and you start seeing stars. All right, he was like any type of quick movement and you seeing stars, that's a concussion. He said because your brain is impact is too much force for the brain to the brain. You might could find I'm sure you can find a video on YouTube, but I just can't remember the doctor's name, man. All right, but so every time you see stars, it's a concussion. All right, so somebody might slap you, and somebody be like, "Yeah, I see stars," or you might have got up wrong or moved too quick. You see stars, that's a concussion because it's a rattling of the brain. All right, and your brain deteriorates. Okay, and yeah, you could get it playing a little league football. You could get it playing a high school football. You don't have to be in college or the pros. You don't have to play 10, 15 years in NFL. No, it starts from childhood, man. All that brain trauma, man. All right, that's some serious shit. All right, but yeah, I had to put that out there, man, because I know, man, people simple, man. Not the hope for the elect. But yeah, listen to this. So you see they blaming everything on mental illness. Don't forget what came out the other day. We brought up by with the Holy Spirit with the camps and Trump signing an executive order to take homeless people and people with mental illness off the street.
Police chief who, then there is Curtis Sliwa, who's running for mayor in New York City as a Republican, talking about some of the issues here and what we can maybe do to stop incidences like this. Here's Curtis Sliwa.
Sean, we don't have enough police. We desperately need more police. And we need photo recognition technology so that they can spot people right away with the technology we have, walking around boldly, brazenly with guns, so we can preemptively do something. And clearly this man was on a mission. But my concern, Sean, is there are potential terrorists watching how easy it is to walk through the streets of New York City, to carry an AR-15, to walk into a corporate world headquarters that represents capitalism, and then slaughter people indiscriminately.
You see that?
So we have mental health issues.
You see? How they push surveillance, right? And more people, police on the streets. And we got another video, all right, with Civil talking about New York City need at least 40,000, man, out there in the field, right, to make people feel safe. And it's not just New York, all right? It's they want this everywhere. And see, New York is damn near the capital, is the heartbeat to the United States, man. All right.
Curtis Sliwa says we need more police. And finally, Congressman Dan Goldman of New York says it's not yet another example of the need for gun control and banning quote-unquote assault weapons. I would defy Dan Goldman and the other Democrats who define the assault weapon. They can't define a woman. I know they can't define the assault weapon. But you have three potential issues being raised.
But that's the point. So you see, man. You see? So they want gun control. Everything about gun control, but you ain't taking with Esau his damn guns. Now check this out.
The NYPD is the absolute best in the world. Everybody knows that. But they don't have enough men and women. We've got to get them up to 40,000 people to keep everybody safe and sound in our city. We're only at 31,000. That's not enough to protect everybody, Sean. You've traveled the streets. You know how desperately we need armed, uniformed police officers to make everybody feel safe and ward off the random attackers and potentially the terrorists who still want to attack us in New York.
You see that? You see, hey, you can't make it up. You can't make this up. Though y'all thought we were making it up. But hey, it's all good. These things are literally playing out, man. Yahweh Shema Shai has his Holy Spirit upon his men to tell you what's coming, man. And showing you in the scriptures. Hey, now remember, everybody wanted to defund the police. Well, you got what you wanted. Now, this is the consequences of it. Right now, people, hey, they want them back. But this time, hey, surveillance, track and trace, no privacy, stop and frisk, where's your credentials? And eventually, hey, your credentials ain't gonna be. It's not going to be your regular ID or the real ID with the star on it. No, this will be the MOTB. Okay, to show that you pledge your allegiance to this beast system. All right. And to let them know that you down with the program. It ain't no faking the MOTB. But yeah, I just wanted to hit this real quick through the spirit and probably how about Shema Shah. So we know what's going on in the spirit, man. These things are going to continue to play out. These things are going to continue to be set up, man. Stay in the spirit, be circumspect, use discernment, and continue to call upon the names of Yahweh Shema Shah Shalom.